Hi guys, and welcome to Cat Talks, the place where I talk about books, reading and writing. Today we are doing the bingo picks, my June TBR, because it is May. Stay tuned. If you want to see what the prompts are and things like that, you can check out my first video here. And also the Google Docs is linked down below. I did change it since May. I have added, shifted a few of the challenges around, and I've also added a category for NetGalley or indie. Sorry, NetGalley and indie or Wattpad. So those are two new challenges. And I've also kind of mixed around the genres, and I'm going to be mixing around the genres again for next time because I'm trying to find a way that this works for me really well. So I am going to be rolling 10 times. That's slightly less than the number of books I read in April and May, but I wanted to make sure that I could finish them all because I am starting a new job, which is really exciting, on the first Monday of June, and I'm a bit worried about whether or not I will be able to continue reading because obviously that will involve working a bit of overtime. And so, without further ado, let's get on to rolling. So those of you who watch my reading vlogs, you'll know that I have 3 books out from the library. I have book 2 of the Halvdan Viking series, which is Fremlingens Grav, or The Foreigner's Grave. I have Holly Black's The Cruel Prince, and I have The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, and all 3 need to go back on the 6th of June. So I'm really hoping that challenges for fantasy come up so that I could get these read and back. Send help. So the first roll was 15, and this is a standalone contemporary. There are lots of standalone contemporaries, so I didn't have any trouble finding one that I wanted to read, and I went with The Girls by Emma Cline. This is the story of a cult and about the main character who sort of joins this cult and finds it really, useful to not have to make any decisions at all. And then kind of like her obsession with one of the female members of this cult leads to her maybe contemplating doing something that is very illegal and also horrible. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and this was and this is a gift from What Victoria Read. Hey look, it's an 11. This is one of my new prompts. This is an indie or Wattpad, and it's a contemporary. For this, I'm going to be choosing The Rebels of Raleigh High by Callie Hart. This is a book about a young, kind of like bullied and ostracized girl in a school, and the boy who has come to kind of kick off some drama there. So this is a indie book, I believe, I hope, because I picked it for that reason, and I'm looking forward to getting in and reading this and kind of like about the revenge that they take on all of the people in Raleigh High. All right, let's roll again. Another indie and Wattpad. This is a 51, which means it is an indie or Wattpad thriller or mystery. So I've decided to go for Proper English by KJ Charles. This is set in the past, so it's a historical romance between a young woman and one of her old friend's fiancé. So it is an LGBTQ+. Someone dies and they've got to figure out who did it. That's all I know about this book. That's all I want to know about this book. Also, it's so weird that we've had 2 indie or Wattpad books right after each other, so I'm wondering how many more times we'll get one of the new prompts. The next roll is 27, and that is a new release mixed media, and I have gone with My Lesbian Experience With Loneliness for this one by Nagata Kabi. This was released in 2017, so I'm not sure whether it still counts as a new release, but it's my show, so I can do what I want, and this is fairly new. It's also bright pink and it has a naked girl on the cover, so who wouldn't want to read this? So 69 is a romance book, and it does mean that I need to roll again to get the colour of the book, and also means I have to add another book onto my TBR, so I'm getting a bit nervous. It's going to be 11 books now. Alright, so we got 62, which means the book cover colour that I need to find is pink. Now, since it is a romance book, hopefully there will be plenty of books with the colour pink in the romance section. And for this one, I have gone with Who's That Girl? As you can see, it's got pink text and it's got a pink spine, so this definitely counts. So this is a story of a woman who's caught in a compromising position at a colleague's wedding and is sent by her boss to go and do something in her hometown, away from her colleagues so that they can't mock her relentlessly for what she did, and it's, causing a lot of upset and drama. So she's been sent away to Nottingham, which is where she used to live, and she's decided to stay with her dad and her layabout, it says in the back cover title, while she compiles a man's biography. Now the man is a famous actor who she believes who she believes is probably going to be very difficult to say no to. So I'm looking forward to giving this a read. It is a chunker, especially for a contemporary. It is over 500 pages, so... All right, and then I have to find a book for 62. So the prompt for 62 is a adult romance. So I have gone for The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. I believe this is a fairly new release. This is a super new release. It was released in April 2019 and is about a couple who have broken up and live their lives, and one of them has anxiety, I believe, and the other one I'm not sure, and they have to, you know, they want to get back together, but they have some demons to overcome before they can even think about doing that. Ooh, 36 is a fantasy. Unfortunately, it's not going to cover any of the 3 library books I have out because this is a NetGalley fantasy. I actually have one already. It is The Changing of the Guard by Matt Spencer, and I need to give that back by the 6th of June because it's getting archived, so I better get reading on that one. Why is the 6th of June so important to everyone to steal my books away? But still, this one is about a police officer for a kind of dictatorial fantasy country who has been sent into the countryside to deal with some reports of genetic modification and things like that, and ends up kind of, you know, trapped by the rebels, possibly sympathising with them. So we'll see how this one goes. And let's roll again. 56 is another NetGalley, which makes 4 of the new prompts so far, and this is a NetGalley thriller/mystery. For this one I have gone with Behind Blue Eyes by Claire Duffy, and this is about a young woman who's just moved to Sweden to live with her boyfriend, and ends up kind of like discovering a body that she suspects her boyfriend might know more than he's supposed to about. All right, let's roll again. So number 5 is a standalone sci-fi. I'm so happy that we're getting back into sci-fi and fantasy because this was getting a very contemporary heavy readathon. And for my standalone sci-fi, I have chosen The Flowers for Algernon by Danielle Keyes. Now this is a really sad book. I have been led to believe Cody's Book Corner read it not that long ago, which is why I picked it up. And it is about a young man with learning difficulties who is given a wonder drug along with a rat to kind of like improve their brain capabilities, and it works, I guess, but the rat seems to kind of like suffer from advanced aging and dies super soon, and the main character has to deal with the fact that that might be happening to him as well. As I said, he also had some learning difficulties, so although with the tablet his IQ does raise, he still has trouble talking to people and socializing and things like that. So this is his diary, I believe, so it starts off written really badly with like bad grammar and spelling and ends up really, really well written towards the end, and I'm looking forward to seeing that progression, but not to blubbering. Yeah, not to that. And we have 14. And now we have 14, which is another contemporary. This is an A to Z title pick, so let's just roll on the title, on a random letter generator. Now I had to roll twice because the first time I rolled it did something iffy, so you're gonna see the first one gets thrown away and we're gonna go with the second one. And the letter was S. So for this one I have picked Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella. This is about an established couple who kind of like want to get the spark back in their relationship, and they do so by surprising each other. However, it all starts to go wrong and they, you know, that's all I need to know really. It looks amazing. It's got a really cute cover and I'm looking forward to reading this one. #13 is another contemporary, and this one is a diverse contemporary. For this one I have picked The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which was another gift from What Victoria Read, linked down below as always. And yeah, this is about a young girl who goes to an esteemed private school, and she happens to come from a black neighbourhood and be black herself. And when violence erupts in that black neighbourhood, she's forced to choose a side, whether she sides with the kind of like posh identity that she's made for herself, or whether she wants to stand up for the community that she lives in. I'm really looking forward to giving this a read. I know that's all I know about it, so it should be really interesting. I know that there is a second book kind of based in the same world called On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Finally, I have 2 books. One was lent to me and one was gifted to me that I want to read this month and that didn't really fit any of the prompts. So the first is China Mier, there's The City and the City. This is a kind of like urban fantasy or speculative fiction, I guess, set in a city, and there is a crime. That's all I know. And the second one is Till the Cows Come Home by Sarah Cox. This is an autobiography of life on a farm. My father wants to buddy read this with me, so I have no choice. I chose Daisy Jones and the Six, so he gets to choose the next book, and this is the next book. I might not read this month because obviously reading along with someone else, I like to let him set the speed because as you guys will know, I am a very fast reader, and my dad, you know, I didn't get that from my dad. So yeah, that is a 13 book TBR, and I didn't manage to fit any of the 3 library books that need to go back on the 6th on it either. So I'm gonna have to give those back unread, unless I can read them like today, which is really sad, but it's okay because it's a library. I can request them again. I can do this. I am strong. All right, that is it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to comment down below and tell me that my makeup looks rubbish and I have no idea what I'm doing, then I already know that, and I've saved you the time and trouble and responsibility, so you don't have to. So feel no obligation to comment down below and tell me that I am ugly. Other than that, I welcome your comments, I welcome your critiques. If you've read any of these, let me know. I feel like a lot of people have read Thug. Next Friday, I will be releasing my May wrap-up, so if you want to see whether or not I loved Nevernight and some other very hyped up books, then please check it out by pressing subscribe and hitting the little bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video. Alright guys, I hope you've had a fun time with me during the bingo-a-thon rolls. I wish they'd been slightly more fancy, but it's me, so you could have assumed that. Happy reading!